What's happening? What's up? What's good? And what it do? I am Dr. Elegant Soul Food, the Consecrated Nature-Baby, and welcome to date night. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some good loving to step two, step two, step two, step two. I have my niece visiting me with me today. I have Tisha Nair on the line. And so Thursdays are for date night. And so we try to chop it up a little bit about something. I'm really wanting some married people that's been married to come on and answer some of these questions that you're about to ask me and some of these questions that we all have. Loneliness is like a pandemic across the globe. I'm like, how can we be so globally connected that we can just reach out and have the whole world at our fingertips, but people are lonely? And part of the discussion, I keep asking them, just like, is it that we can't get over ourselves? I keep saying people gonna end up, dating Chat GPT and coming home and putting on their avatar glasses and having cyber sex. Getting taking a shower, putting on their pajamas, and having cyber sex with their machine, and then going to bed and cuddling with their machine and getting up and going through the next day because it seems like people are just looking for this perfect prototype. Like if they say one thing that's off kilter, then I'm gonna lose my shit. And I can't get over myself enough to deal with somebody. And they didn't check all the boxes. And I think our global community is just way too big. And that's part of the problem. If you think about it, back in the day, people came from small towns and they would find the finest or the cleanest one they could find in that town. And they just made it a lifetime. They had a strong back and skinny legs and could climb a fence and raise chickens and whatever,
Girl, okay.
relocate to another town together, all of that, and just work it out. And then the other thing I think is just like good old fashioned staying power. And I think, a lot of it is that we need to get over ourselves and we need to be committed to somebody that we can have, I guess, that 80-20 with. 80% of the shit I can just deal with, and the 20% makes me want to holler, throw up both my hands and throw hands and all that. But I don't do it and we talk through it. So that's all I have to say. Welcome, T. Chanel.
Hi.
Welcome to date night. Thank you for joining me.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
You have a question for me that you
Yes,
saved just for date night.
I sure did. Exactly. I had no idea I was doing that, but yes. So I have a question and I have a statement because as I was thinking about the question, something came in my head because I do notice that a lot of people are just tying themselves to anything.
Tying themselves to anything.
Tying themselves to anything. Kind of like you said at the beginning of the intro, whatever feels right, whatever's the cleanest, whatever is, and it kind of sparked a question that I was going to ask. And my question is there one designated person that was created for your soul's journey? Is there one designated question, as in the Bible, they would call your husband that God has for you, picked and chosen? Um, but what we like to call someone that aligns exactly with what you came here to do it with you, and also have that romantic side of them as well.
I really think it just depends. One thing, I don't think everybody wants that for
Yes.
whatever reason. Some people want to be in these, what is it, polygamy type of relationships.
Yep.
Um, some people believe that, the way that marriage was introduced to us was wrong, and whatever their perspective may be. I don't want to like step on anybody's perception of anything because I'm selfish as hell and it just ain't gonna happen.
For sure.
Other people don't mind sharing. They think sharing is caring.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. I don't know nothing about that, but yeah.
So what I think as your aunt, what I think,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be based off of my own personal expectations and also what I've seen in the world these 50 something years. I think that
Mm-hmm.
There's no perfect relationship. And I think that every relationship mirrors something back to you about yourself.
Okay. Absolutely.
And given that,
Mm-hmm.
there's always something that you can work on, and we're supposed to be greater tomorrow than we were today, right?
Amen.
Working
Absolutely.
towards that and letting love lead the way, and that love shouldn't hurt. But love does, but love shouldn't hurt, right?
For sure.
Because you're putting it all together.
Yes.
So I think that every relationship takes a lot of work. And I think that a lot of times people don't owe you an explanation about how imperfect their relationship may be, and they may not disclose that.
Right.
So while people are telling you this is, my best friend, this is my lover, this is my homie lover friend, and we're soulmates and this, that, and the third, they may be keeping some cards to their chest.
For sure. For sure.
I think that's really the reality of it all. Because I think it takes a lot to be fully
100%.
true to yourself
Yep.
and then have somebody else in the fold and never miss the mark.
Right.
So I don't think the perfect relationship even exists. And I also believe that you can have a dream team. And I think there's aspects of ourselves that we have in our relationship with our significant others. And I also think that there's aspects of our relationship that we have, like with our girlfriends or relatives, or however that may chop up and be.
Mm-hmm.
I would bet money that if people could just be honest, if they chose to be honest, because they don't owe us any
Right.
insight. This is why I want people that's been married at least 5 years or longer to step into the room. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, so they can jump in if somebody's online that's married. I think if they were just honest and just say that this person tests me, this person tries me, this person shows me who I am, this person shows me things I don't like, shows me things that I don't want to deal with. At times, I don't feel like dealing with it.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, I'm glad I stayed. I read this book. I think I still have it. I'm gonna tell you about this book and I'm gonna tell you about this movie. I read this book about people that have been married for at least 20 years. Some people have been married up to 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked them why they stayed together and how they stayed together. And when I tell you, it was some of the most horrific stories I've ever heard.
Oh yeah.
Some women had been battered and beaten in their relationship. Some women have been cheated on. Some people have had spouses that had sexual dysfunctions or sexual fetishes. And it was just like, I didn't get married for this shit. I didn't sign up for this. Um, and they stayed together. Even if they broke up, they got back together. I think maybe out of like 20 or 40 couples, I know it was quite a bit. It was a lot of stories because I was asking the same questions that you're asking about, like, what is this soulmate thing? And what is this big love that you get? And it's just like, get off the rom-coms. It's not a movie, it's not a
Of course
sitcom.
not. That was not at all.
Life is messy as hell.
Yeah, it is.
And so they painted a broader picture for me in regards to the reasons why they stayed together and that expecting a person not to change, talking about how the husband went to therapy or didn't go to therapy, how religion affected their relationship. It was people that were everyday people that worked for a living, all the way up to people that were multimillionaires.
Right.
And talking about their relationships and why they stayed in marriages for as long as they did. There was a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the most curious read and deep dive into relationships because she interviewed people all across the United States
Mm-hmm.
that were willing to talk about their marriages. They had been married, some until death did them part, for at least 20 years. I think it was maybe 10 years was like the criteria. You had to be married at least 10 or 20 years before you could participate. And then for her to get like 40 people.
Right.
It was really interesting.
Right.
So I think that every relationship is going to test you and going to try you, and it could be perfect for y'all, you know. But I would like to believe that there is somebody. I wouldn't want a yes person. I wouldn't want a person that definitely can't be a yes person, but I wouldn't want somebody also that was just so damn difficult that you just couldn't accomplish anything. I don't believe that opposites attract. That shit don't turn me on at all. Again, I go back to not just using this 80/20 as a gauge, but it's something to think about. That 20% could get you hurt. That 20% could cause me to black out and throw hands. So when they say that 80/20, that it has to be like a 80% of it works and 20% of it, stuff that you work at. That 20% has to really be something that's tolerable and something that's workable and something that does not cross the line. So the link is in the chat if you would like to join us, if you would like to come on and share your experience about what we're talking about. Do you believe that there's this perfect person, there's this soulmate, there's this person that is supposed to be yours and nobody else's, and that y'all gonna get together and everything's gonna be like a rom-com? The link is in the chat if you would like to come in and share with us your experience. We're especially looking to have some married people that have been married at least 5 years to talk about the tests and the trials of their marriages. Now, my niece had dropped off the call. I'm sure she'll be back. But there are people in my family that have been married like 55 years, like more than one couple in my family that have been married for like 55 years. There's some that have been married 30 something years. There are some that have been married 20 some years. There's some that's been married several times,
Sorry
like
about that.
5 times. So I was just sharing with the audience while you were out about that we've had marriages in our family as long as 55 years, down to like years, 30 something years to 5 years, to people that have had several marriages. And that where you left off is where I was saying the 80/20. That 20% could get you really hurt with me. If you're going to have 80% of what I need you to have as the man in my life, you can't have the 20% be something that's going to make me want to hide your body and
Exactly.
escape.
Right.
That
Exactly.
20% has to be something that you are aware of, that you are working on.
Exactly.
I can say for myself, if we're working towards something and I do something that you find disrespectful, I'm going to catch myself when I'm doing it and be like, oh, yeah,
Right.
he said he didn't like that.
Right.
If I know you don't like something and I do it and just be like, yeah, that's a problem. Because respect is always the first thing that goes out the window in any relationship: a mother child,
That's true.
a parent teacher,
That's
a
true.
significant other, a
Yep.
work relationship. You get disrespectful in all of these, it's always the first line that's crossed is disrespect. And you have
Yeah.
to teach people boundaries.
Absolutely.
So I believe that every relationship is a work in progress. And I don't think anybody should just suffer until the end of their relationship. I just don't. I don't believe in divorce. I believe if you want out, you should go drink you some bleach and lay down if you
Exactly.
want
Yeah.
out.
No,
But
really though.
the other thing is that irreconcilable differences. It's just like who's ever least invested in a relationship is going to be least interested in working things out because they don't care if you stay and they don't care if they're
Right.
there or not. And they don't
Exactly.
want, sometimes they don't want to be the first one to walk away.
Right.
So I just think it's a lot of work. A lot of work. It is not a romantic comedy. And speaking of romantic comedies, there's that book that I told you about. I can find out the name of it if you'd be curious in reading it. The other thing is this book called this movie with Denzel's um, son in it, John
Mm.
David Washington. It's called and Zendaya. She was a Disney actress.
Oh, Zendaya, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just them two in the movie, and it's called Malcolm and Marie. And when I tell you the
Oh,
movie
I've seen
game,
that.
you
It was
saw
in
it.
like black and white. Yes, I did see
What?
that.
Minister
That
to
was
me.
nice.
Minister to
Yes,
me. Tell me what you thought, because I can't argue as long as they did. That movie got on my nerves,
it
but I
was.
finished it. But I need to watch it again because after
Yeah.
2 or 3 exchanges, I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
what did you think about the movie?
I feel like it was a breakdown of, I don't want to say a typical relationship, but a relationship. I think their relationship has so many different variations of problems that people go through. And it was just, I mean, in the movie they did back to back to back, so it was overwhelming. But if you paid attention to each argument, which I'd be lying if I said I didn't, I have severe ADHD, but the way they started off, it was always a, see, the first argument was an argument of the two of them getting into it, maybe just about a common difference. But then the second argument was a playoff from the first argument because they never really got a closure on the first argument. And that's usually how it goes in relationships. And then you're 2, 3 years down the line and you still arguing about the same very first argument because just because we both said that we understand, or just because we both said, sweep it under the rug for whatever reason, because the attraction of wanting to be with that person in the beginning is so strong that you will allow things you don't allow. You will look over things that you don't usually look over because you want to be with that person so bad. But as time goes on, and as we know, just like with anything, attraction gets lower the longer this process goes on, if both people are not 100% in. And you have to understand, the person that I was when I got with him, or when you get in a relationship, and the person that you develop to be is going to change. So if you're changing and they're not, there's a huge issue. If you're changing and they're changing, but y'all are changing on two different ways, y'all are starting to want two different things for life, there's a big issue. So it's kind of hard to stay. It's kind of like pulling a thread apart, because it's hard to keep everything on the same equilibrium when, like we talk about in deeper senses, we understand your soul mission is this, my soul mission is that. In the time that we met each other, it rocked and rolled. It worked because where we was at the moment, but because now the universe needs to do this with me, and I'm cha-cha in this way, and I'm learning this, and things are happening from my childhood or my lineage, or it's a, like you said, it's a lot of work. It's a very hard thing to keep up with.
From the context of the movie Malcolm and Marie, the thing that turned me on a lot about
Mm-hmm.
this movie was they didn't let intimacy throw them off track and having the discussion. They had moments where they would like kind of press up on each other. He would start to suck her toes and say that I'm
Yeah.
gonna marry you and divorce you. You my
Mm-hmm.
you my girlfriend, my wife, and my future ex. And
Exactly.
they would start kissing and she would go take a shower, whatever. But then they would come right back to that conversation. That turned me on because
Yeah.
a lot of people they have good sexual energy in their relationships. And
Yep.
so that's something that can get them off track and
It
just be like,
clouds it.
I'm
Yeah.
still mad at you. But they didn't go there. And I thought
Right.
that was an important, whoever wrote and
Wrote that.
directed it, I
For
thought that was
sure.
very important that they
For
did
sure.
that.
That is true.
They were showing them a way to be healthy on track. I don't love you any less, but what you're saying is hurtful.
For sure.
The other thing about the movie is that he got with her. She was on drugs and she was in her 20s when they got together, which
Mm-hmm.
gave me the image that he was a little bit older than her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she was saying, "You didn't even thank me. You took my life. You made a movie. All these people walking around kissing your ass, telling you how
Right.
great you are, and you
Right.
never thanked me." And the argument that they had, the intense argument that they had
Mm-hmm.
from top to bottom,
Mm-hmm.
this 2 hours it is. It
For
was
sure. It
good.
was long. Yeah, it was.
2 hours, 2 hour argument. And I just thought it ended so beautifully.
Well, metaphorically, when she was saying you didn't even thank me, we as women run into a lot of that because we're the visionary, or known to be the visionary, and there's a lot of relationships where they will say that they built a man up, or they gave a man something, they took a part of them and was able to make something out of it, and the man either moves on, or the man either something ended up happening where we feel less appreciated because of what we gave. I know people that women that given their entire life to a man pass away and they with the next woman next week. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
Sometimes the same night.
sometime the same night
Hang on that
after
in
the
your
funeral. After the
hands.
funeral, exactly. And from the movie, that's what I took. Like, I feel like she just really felt like it was something in her. I mean, of course, they used a movie standpoint, but I really do think metaphorically that's what she was saying, and I see that a lot as well. And that's never, so to say, been my worry, because the way I think of myself, I just don't think that. No, I mean, I know that I'm just as unique as my fingerprint. So there's no other woman that can do tea like tea. So I don't view it in a way of a fear, but a lot of women do. A lot of women see it like
But
that.
she broke that ass down at the
She
end.
did. She
He
did.
broke that ass
She
down at
really
the end.
did.
All he could do was stand there and look. And I'm just like, why does it take so long for him
To
to
get to that part,
understand
I'm
what
like,
she's
they went outside. They was
saying?
running in the forest. I'm like, oh my goodness, God, Lee.
Baby, I was so tired. I didn't know what to do. This is why I need to watch it a second time. But when I saw him standing there like a chastised child,
He was.
I I felt it. I
Yeah.
felt it because I was just like, this is how I've had to break shit down to my children to make them
Yeah.
understand something. It
Yeah.
did take us 2 hours, but it might have taken us 2 weeks
For sure, for sure.
because I had to
Because
keep
a lot of
repeating
times, a
myself.
lot of people just they move off arguments on ego that they not listening. They're not. They are just so in bound point of trying to win this argument that I don't even think they get it. But like you said, she broke that down to the point where he couldn't even say nothing.
And I think what you just said was very important because that's how I approach arguments. I don't
Yep.
have to be right. I just need to be heard.
Exactly.
And I
That's it.
think that's where she was coming from. I don't have
Yep.
to be right, but I need to be heard. And once
Yep.
he heard her, he realized
For
she was
sure.
right.
Because her point remained the same. She just went into explanation of it the entire movie.
Oh God, when she said, thank you, you didn't even say thank you for doing the stuff around the
Exactly.
house. So you don't even have to do it. So you could go and write this thing so you could be great and get all these accolades.
Exactly.
Thank you for holding me down. Thank you for
Exactly.
doing this and that. And she just broke it all over there. I was just like, I
Yeah.
have to watch this again. Because y'all
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
my
No.
nerves so bad with the arguing. Because I get violent after a couple exchanges.
No, for real. No, for real. They start getting a little violent too, and I was here for it. I was really here for it. I was. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that perception, and then I feel like she really wanted him to understand, and I've been there with just really wanting someone to understand, and it doesn't have to be in relationship wise, but I feel like if someone could just see it from my point of view for just a split second, and like I said, I don't want to steal the show with that, but if I could at least get my point across and we can understand where I'm from, where you're coming from, I feel like things could be dealt with so different. But it's so many variations of why people don't just allow.
Here's the other thing that throws things off track when you're trying to date and related to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He punched below the belt. He was like, this movie wasn't about you. And she's just like, it is, because she's convinced because she saw herself on those pages, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. And he had to break down what part of it she inspired him through, but it wasn't just solidly about her life. And he started talking about these ex people that he was with and the things that they
Yeah.
just like, so would you just mess around with
Yeah.
drug addicts? That's just your thing, blah blah blah.
Exactly.
And then you want to paint this vivid picture of what you did with somebody else. Like,
That's the ego.
my love for you is
Wasn't even
so
all that.
irrelevant that you can just
Yep.
rub in my face these
Yep.
other
This could have been about
relationships.
anybody. Yeah. Yep. And that's what they'll do too. And I don't just mean men, but I just mean people. Because I don't want to make it, but yeah, that's what they'll do too. And it's an ego standpoint. It's a point of pride to just be able to, throw something to the side. But it all comes down to that lack of accountability. If he would have just, even if it was about whatever it would have been, if he would have just met her on that standpoint, I feel like that would have been half the battle. I don't know, in my opinion.
See, and that's why when you ask me the question about is there just one perfect person, one soul, one half soul, I believe everybody has their whole soul and that you are a whole self and a whole person. I
Yeah,
believe that relationships put up a mirror. And there are some people that figure it out sooner than others.
for
Like
sure.
there's some people that have met each other out in the
Hmm.
world. got married 2 weeks later and been married for 20, 30 years. They just found their person. And it was just like,
Yeah. This
well,
works. This is yeah.
we
Yeah.
gonna figure it out together because we're not gonna give up on each other. And I think that's a lot of what that old school love was about. And I like to believe that it's still happening now. This is why I
Yeah.
invite people to step up on date night and come in and share their stories, because
Mm.
I really believe that there are people out there that are getting together that have good old fashioned faith.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
I actually know somebody. I'm gonna ask him if he would be willing to come on. It's somebody that
Okay.
I follow on Instagram.
Mhm.
I love he and his girlfriend so much. When I tell you he's so sexy, when I say he's sexy, I mean when he describes their relationship, he
Yeah.
says some of the sexiest stuff. I'm gonna read some of his things because I noticed I have some of his stuff loaded in my phone because that's just how sexy he is.
Mhm.
And he loves his girl, he loves his children, and he's always talking about just some beautiful soul searching type of love. Okay, here's one. I like this a lot. Due to divine reasons, I no longer carry the burden of other people's confusion about who I am. I let projections fall where they may, while I continue walking in truth, grounded in my self-awareness, and lit by the fire God placed in me.
Amen. Love it.
Let
Love it.
me find one of the ones he
Wow.
has about his relationship.
Who is this man? Again, Jesus Christ. He said that? A man said it?
He is Scorpio.
Mm.
When I say he is Scorpio, let me say he was self-actualized Scorpio, because that makes a big difference. A mature
It
Scorpio.
really does. Yes. Okay.
And a married Scorpio, and what's the other thing? He's committed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I need that quote though.
I'll send it to you. Okay, that was a good one. Wait a minute, where'd that one go? When I say I love you, I'm not just speaking to your current self. I'm loving the younger you who wasn't seen, the future you who's still unfolding, the healed, the hurting, the holy part. All of you is welcome here.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Me too.
I love that.
Me too. I be just cheering him and his wife on.
Yeah, that
He be
sounds great.
clowning. Oh Lord, I can't read that one. Oh, can I read that one? They gonna ban me on here if I say that one.
I mean, can you specify? I want to hear it.
No, he be. I done missed
There's
this
no
one.
way to change it.
I don't be seeing all those. Okay,
Hmm.
here we go, date night. Here we go, date night. I don't fall for faces. I fall for frequency. You could be beautiful and still feel empty.
For sure.
I want the kind of lover who moves me into deeper purpose, one who knows how to pray and play. Let's build something soul fed.
Love that. Oh, wait.
Welcome to Elegant
That's
Soul
so
Food,
grown, man.
baby.
That's so grown, man.
Love without emotional intelligence is just attraction with good timing. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to rewind it. And I'm going to
I
say
can
it
bring
again.
back.
Love without emotional intelligence is just attraction with good timing. I don't
Yeah.
care how good it feels. If
Yep.
we can sit down when the shit gets hard and talk without tearing each other down,
Exactly.
I don't want the
Exactly.
kind of partner who values repair more than pride.
Amen.
Oh, wait, say, I want the kind of partner that values repair more than pride,
Absolutely.
who sees conflict as a conversation, not a competition.
Oh,
Now, this is the problem. This is why a lot of people are single. This is the fucking problem right here.
it is.
Please, they might bleep that out, but this is the problem right here. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
No emotional intelligence.
Yep.
and they get with whoever they just get with. They're not taking time out to figure things out, who they are, what's going on.
Nope,
They
whatever's
just
clever.
riding on attraction.
Yep,
Period.
absolutely. Who is this man? I need to tune into him.
I will tag you in it.
Okay, yeah.
I don't care how good it feels. If we can't sit down when the shit gets hard and talk without tearing each other down, I want the kind of partner who values repair more than pride, who sees conflict as a conversation, not a competition.
Mm-hmm.
Won't there it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that sums up the whole
Sometimes
mountain
all
of
somebody
the
got is their pride, and that's another thing that needs to be figured out. And I do feel like the friendship portion, getting to know who getting into what you're getting into with is very, very important, because everyone gonna show their best self in the door. And those 4 points that he just made, you can't figure that out in a one night stand or in a couple of days of get kicked. Yeah, you gotta dig deep to figure out if that is where somebody's mind really sits.
Yeah.
You really
Yeah.
do. So I love it.
I'm gonna read this last one and then I'm gonna close it out because you got me a way past my bedtime. But I'm so glad we got date night in.
Me
Hey, hey,
too. I like
hey,
it.
hey. Okay. This is how wait, did you have something else you want to add before I close out?
No, no. Actually, I think this is good. And whoever this man is, his points, I think that was really good to be added in there. I actually wrote them down. So
Okay.
that concludes what I had to say.
Good. Now this is how we gonna put the seal on date night this Thursday night.
Okay.
When you're looking for love and intimacy in a deeper relationship, I think this should be a starting point, and this is what our minds need to be set on. I mean, this is where my mind is. So I'm hoping that you at least know what your intimacy looks like.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Here, here we go. Our intimacy isn't limited to the bedroom. It spills into how we dream, create, and speak life into each other. We seduce each other with ambition, presence, and passion. We're not couple goals, we're soul goals.
Absolutely. 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 What you said?
I heard this. God, I gotta remember where it is. I want to say it's in one of the African. Africa is huge. One of
Yes.
the African traditions of a marriage couples in this certain region, before they're intimate, they lay and stare into each other's eyes and they say what their dreams and their desires and their wishes are for themselves and for each other.
Oh
And
wow.
that's how they kick off.
Oh, that's how I know I'm a little young. That sounds scary. My age came to the forefront. I was like, wait, what? Oh Lord, okay. I was like, what? Girl, I gotta grow up. I ain't ready yet. I ain't ready yet. I ain't ready yet. I'm a guppy. And you said it with so much passion. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Oh Lord.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm a
Well,
little young. I'm 27. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little young for that. Just a
that's
little.
what to think of. But you got dreams, you got goals, you got
I
passion.
know.
I mean,
And I
I
never
feel what
thought about
you're
it
saying.
around that time period. Ever.
I feel what you're saying because the
Yeah,
20s is the wonder years.
it
I
is.
so get it.
It is.
You still trying to
Everything
figure out
is
what you
fun and
like.
fast and ain't thinking about nothing, just doing, doing, doing. But I do want to get out of that because I have the mind capacity in other areas that I do need to bring, I need to bring that into, because anytime that I've jumped into intimacy without any purpose, it's went very horribly. So I need to try something different. And Sandy's doing the same thing over and over again and not getting nowhere. So I'm with it, but when you said it, I ain't gonna lie, it took me back a little. My heart started being like, oh no, no, that we won't be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a beautiful thing, and I
I
think a
mean,
healthy love is something that I've never experienced. I've never seen it. I've never been in it. I've never. Um, I don't know. what it looks like. But before I do find my partner or even put myself in position, I want to at least give that a chance to see what it looks like.
Can you imagine you laid up, you booed up, and y'all turned the Netflix off, and you stare into each other's eyes, and you be like, "Where you see yourself in 5 years?" I ain't gonna lie, that should make me get up, put my clothes on.
No, for real. Thank
In my
you.
20s.
In
In
your
my
20s.
teens and 20s.
Yes.
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 Because when somebody used to ask me that when I was in my teens, I'm like, nigga, I'm just trying to kick it. I'm just like,
Exactly.
we just came
Exactly.
from eating. What did we what? I'm like,
Right.
this
Like,
the
yes.
bathroom? Not using the bathroom before we do this. What we
Exactly. Exactly. And I didn't want to say it like that, but no, really, I'm glad you understand because that's literally, yeah, that's the truth.
so let's try to pull this in some. How
Okay.
can we apply this in your 20s to take intimacy to a level where it's deeper than just doing the deed, but we
Yeah.
set soul goals together. So I'm just gonna take like a scenario from Baby Boy, something on the
That's my
line.
favorite movie. That's another problem.
So let's say something on the lines that it's just like, okay, where you see yourself going with, you selling clothes or whatever, do you plan on getting a storefront or something like that? I'm like, how do you turn this into a sexy conversation? Is it because the intensity of what they want to do? But here's what has conditioned us working. We do Workforce Wednesdays on Wednesday. We've been so conditioned to have a hustle mentality, and hustle means struggle,
It
and
does.
struggle means I don't feel sexy no more. I don't want to talk about that shit because now you're throwing me off.
Exactly.
I don't feel intimate. I don't feel this. I feel like, damn, I ain't working hard enough. I need to make sure I got the money
Right.
here for there to pay for this, for that.
Right.
So this is a
Right.
whole nother level conversation.
It is because I've been in relationships or a relationship where everything was literally a struggle. So all of the, like you said, all the sexiness, all the everything was so survival mode that I don't even feel like we could have an intimacy without it just be doing the deed because I'm trying to get this over with because I got to figure out what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? It's such a fast speed. But if everything was like slower speed, like things are taken care of, soft wine. We can sit here and have a plan on what we're gonna do because we don't have to run out the door every 5 minutes to make sure that we're doing it. That
Yes,
probably would be so
yes.
much. And I
Now,
started to be mean to him. I was mean and cranky and just really, really mean to him because I was really, really stressed out and it was really, and it wasn't even like all the goods of the relationship wasn't even there anymore. It was like being on a construction field in a house, so I do think that's important. I'm glad you bring that point
that
up.
is very important because see, now it's just like, how do we time this?
Right.
So
Right.
if we are having weekly meetings,
Right.
weekly meetings where we sit down and we talk about where are we with our goals and our individual things. And even if every day when you do talk, you be like, so what's your highlight for today? What was really, really good that pushed you going towards what you're
Right.
working on? Is
Right.
there anything I can help you with in doing that? Oh, that's
Definitely.
cool. They covering all these bases, y'all doing this, okay. And so that's a highlight.
For
Man,
sure.
I'm proud of you. That's so good. Imma share
Mhm.
mine. Here's what I'm
Right.
doing, blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
And he has to be your cheerleader too. Because
For
too
sure.
many times
Women are, yeah.
we end up being the one that's the counselor. We
Absolutely.
end up being the prophetess. We end up being
Absolutely.
the second mother.
Yep. Which means we are the leader, and that is not the order.
Wait a minute. I don't agree with that.
Really good, because that was my other question.
I don't agree about women not being leaders. Every woman, well,
I was about to say.
I don't agree about women not being leaders. What I would like to believe is that, hey, baby, baby, mwah, 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 mwah. Hey, sleepyhead. I would like to believe that leadership has its ebbs and flows, and I would love for you to be strong in areas that I either struggle with or
For
would
sure.
like to step back from.
For sure.
So I
For
think
sure.
it should be shared.
For sure. For sure.
That's what I think. And I think if we be honest, it really is.
Yeah,
Because
that
in
is
the
true.
in the religious sect that say that women shouldn't be leaders and men are the head of the relationship, if we really be honest, we be really holding it down and just not
Oh,
get
for
credit
sure.
for it.
For
And
sure.
that was the whole argument with Malcolm and Marie.
Well, they think that because they think that we are led off emotion, so it would be unethical for us to be in the main brain. But that's
think
not always true.
think about the movie we was just talking about, Malcolm and
Mhm.
Marie.
Yeah,
He was holding it down so he could go and stand on
and
that
do what
stage
you
and be celebrated.
exactly. I mean, all women, Beyonce, Jay Z, Michelle Obama. That's always been the thing.
So isn't that leadership?
It is. It is
Okay.
leadership.
So
It is
I'll lead
leadership
in this area so you can lead in that area.
for sure. Yep. And we are 100 and 100 together, not 50-50. Not I'm taking care of a man or a man take care. We are both standing to the front line, and we are becoming what we need to become.
Mm.
That's sexy.
I take some of that.
Yeah, so I take some of that. Well, that's sexy to me. Even in my 20s, that's where I can get so far. I got a long life to live, but that's where I'm at so far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah,
far.
yeah. I totally get it. I'm gonna pull one scripture from Psalms and then we're gonna get out of here because it's past my bedtime and baby
Okay.
boy done got up like we talking what we
All right.
it's time to
Exactly.
go back to bed.
Okay. He talking about when you coming to bed, mom.
She coming right now. Got me up past my bedtime. I was supposed to eat some fruit, drink some water, and go to bed. But I'm so glad we got this date night together.
I
Thank
am
you.
too. This was fun, of course. Pump.
Okay. Let your unfailing love surround us, Lord, for your hope is in you and you alone. Psalms 33 and 22, 33 and 22. God keep God keeps an eye on his friends. Wait a minute. God keeps an eye on his friends. His ears pick up every moaning groan. Okay, so he is a friend of mine. Psalms 34 and 15.
Okay, so it says God keeps an eye on his friends, and what was the other one?
Oh no, I shuffled it up. Oh, this is it. Psalms 34 and 15. God keeps an eye on his friends. He picks up every moaning groan. That's Psalms 34, 15. Mwah. And let
Mhm.
your unfailing love surround us, Lord, for our hope is in you alone. Psalms 33 and 22. You look like Trey.
Don't he look like Trey? He do.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, thank you guys for stopping in for date night with me. I'm gonna put some links in. We discussed Malcolm and Marie and some other things, and this was really good. I'll put some timestamps in, and feel free to join us next time when we come on for date night next Thursday. We'll see you then. And my niece will be back with me on Sunday. We're gonna chop it up and do some Q&A. So come back for Sunday and check out that video. It's been a stone cold gas, and remember, I love you guys. And I love you, niece and nephew, grandnephew.
Love you. Love you.
Have a beautiful night. Enjoy school tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. God bless you. Good night.
All right. Good night. Love you, Susie.
Love you.
Bye.